This video goes out to Favour, who is a student in his last year of school, and he's currently reading the Manifested Millionaire book. And in chapter 1, he asked a really good question. And Favour, if you're listening, I'll say like this, what I have told you before. I think really and truly one of the great gifts that you have, my friend, is you ask really good questions. And despite everything that you do, whatever career you're pursuing, or business that you're starting, or work that you're doing, I really do believe one of your gifts is you ask good questions. So you ask a question in chapter 1, keep a positive mindset, in my book, The Manifested Millionaire. And it was the part of the story with when the teacher told me, let me, instead of paraphrasing it, if I can get the exact things, it was when I was doing midway through the course, I was failing, and the teacher said, Daniel, you don't complete your assignments, your attendance record is very poor, and as of right now, you're failing the course. And my marks are suffering, and it isn't going to be enough to get you into university. However, she says, Daniel, you can still save your grades. It's not too late for you. And she said, you don't need to be hanging out in the back of the class, causing trouble like the rest of the students. You're better than that. And if you persevere, you will succeed. So the question, Favour, what you ask is, what made it work? How did I turn things around? And from how I understood the question is how I turn things around from a negative to a positive with having a positive mindset. So at that age, Favour, at age 16, I was new to the country, like an immigrant. I didn't know a lot of things. I didn't know the places, didn't know what to do, and of course didn't know what career I wanted to do in life. And to answer the question very specifically, you try many things in life, and most of the things you try, it will not, you mightn't be good at it, but then there always comes one thing that you find in life where you are either naturally good at it, or through persistent effort you eventually become really great at it. And at that age, at age 16, I tried a lot of things and took many different courses in high school, but this course called tech design, which was in the book in chapter 1, I actually enjoyed it, and actually enjoyed being very hands-on, building something from nothing. And in that class, the way how the environment was literally at the back of the class was where the kids who were very slackish, they were just joking around and playing the fool and throwing pieces of paper at each other. It was like that at the back of the class, and at the very front, there was 4 students who sat in the front row and would communicate to the teacher and ask questions because they were there to learn. And sometimes the teacher will give a few lectures to the kids at the back because they were just, out of control and always playing the fool. But then she just left them alone because they made their own choices on their own futures. So in the beginning half of the semester or the course, I was trying to, around that age, trying to find my identity in life. And I was, being, at the back because I thought they were the popular kids. And I would get into trouble many times, get sent to the principal office. And of course, through the midway of the course, we were in one of the computer lab working using a design software called AutoCAD, which is like on the computer, and you are creating blueprints of properties like floor plan layouts. And turns out I was very interested in it to learn a lot about it. And I was spending a lot of time and I was really interested in it. And turns out I was very good at it. And I was so good that one day in the lab, a boy next to me asked that, he said, Chin, I'll pay you $20 to do my homework for me. And I don't really care too much about the money, but because I knew I could have do it very quickly, and I was very interested to do it because I knew exactly how to do it. And I did his homework for him. He paid me $20. The teacher came up to ask and said, Daniel, why did you do, Kyle's homework for him? And I said, Mrs. Healy, I was just really interested in doing, I really enjoy doing the AutoCAD. And then she told me, she says, Daniel, there are actually careers and people get paid to do this AutoCAD design, and people get, paid, there's all this career in the construction industry. So, of course, in the last year of high school, I, went on the Career Cruising website to look at potential careers in the construction industry, and I found it very fascinating. But at that age, I didn't really know much, and of course, I was a bit discouraged when my uncle and aunt said, Daniel, why do you want to do those dirty jobs? It doesn't make a lot of money. But so I didn't know any better, and I was, just following the crowd in my footsteps of my older brothers who were studying accounting, and that's what I did. And of course, took a detour in life. But at the end of university, in my last 2 years, when I was trying to figure out the meaning of life, that's when things came back a full circle, and I followed my passion and was not just and didn't follow the crowd. So I, like I always say, there's a quote from Steve Jobs. He said, you only could connect the dots when you look backwards in life. You can't connect the dots when you have to believe that the dots would connect going forward. He said that in one of his commencement speech in Stanford University. And what I only at the point in time I was trying to figure out what it is I wanted to do, and then looking back in hindsight with the course itself, turns out I was really good at it. And of course, one of the big projects in the course, as mentioned in chapter 1 in the book, was to build a house with materials such as Bristol board, glue sticks, and a glue gun. And I used the paint chip colors as the roof shingles. And I sort of built a very nice house, with Bristol board, that looked like the Home Alone house with many windows. And it was a Spanish style home that had white limestone on the outside and orange shingles, on the rooftop. And it was, and I was really passionate building the house. I was in a zone. I lost time, and I would, spend days and, late nights on it. I remembered, like, one time close to midnight, I ran out of glue, and I went out, to one of the convenience stores to get, glue sticks, to continue working on it until, past midnight and all late hours till 2-3 in the morning. And at the end of the course, my house that I've built, it was one of the best that my teacher Miss Healy said. And after I took it home and placed it on my wardrobe or shelf or table, she wanted me to bring it back, so she can use it as an example for the future, semesters and students. And and I said, okay, no problem. But it was, it was a memory that really convinced me that, when after you try a million things and most of those things may not work for you, there's always that one thing where either through persistent efforts, or you may be naturally good at it, or and if you find yourself that you're in a zone and you're spending a lot of time doing something and you just lost track of time, then that could probably be the one thing that you're really interested in. So if you focus on what you're interested in and what you're passionate about, then that is how I really made it work and turned things around from a negative to a positive, and of course by keeping a positive mindset. So it was a very good question you asked, Favour, and I thank you very much for asking that question. It really had me stimulated my mind, because it was a great question, and of course to give you more insight of my story, of inside the story that was written in chapter 1. So thank you very much, and hopefully that answers your question. Thank you.